Joining us now, Joe Morrissey. Oh, you know Joe. A couple things about Joe you might not know. Number one, Joe is a former Commonwealth's attorney in Central Virginia. He was also a House of Delegates member. He's also Catholic and pro-life, like me. And he's also one of the best attorneys in the nation. You probably don't know this about him. He worked on the Paula Jones case. Oh, yeah, this guy's pretty good. I bet you also didn't know that he has won over 250 jury trials in Central Virginia. 250. Like that's 250. That's a big number. And I bet you also didn't know that at one point, Joe Morrissey had a 53 consecutive jury trial winning streak. Now, this is like Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak. Nobody will ever touch it. So he's pretty famous, and he's also a good friend of ours. And he also ran for mayor of Richmond, and we unequivocally supported him in that race and also predicted he was going to win. So I went down the tubes in that one. Had he won, and I've said this, I would have taken our studio and moved it to Richmond, because we'd have been the only network in the state, in the Commonwealth, that have given him a fair shake, because we do real news. Nobody else likes him because he doesn't kowtow to them. He's his own man. And he's with us now. Joe, good to have you.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Pretty good. So, Joe.
Now, is Bryce Harper going to break Joe DiMaggio's winning streak?
No, nobody will ever touch 56 games in a row. It's too hard today. Pitching is too good.
The pitching is better now, or the hitting is worse?
Pitching is better. Yeah. The pitching is just too good. And also, here's the other thing. Defensively, teams have gotten bigger, better, stronger, quicker. I mean, it's the same 90 feet. Stadiums, you know, it's the same base paths. So you got two things going on. You got the fact that simply infielders are faster, bigger, better, stronger. Same thing with outfielders, run things down. And then you have the shift now, which makes it a little tougher to do. So I think that's a record that's going to stand forever.
Also, you have closers now that they never had before.
That's right.
I mean, back in the Denny McClain era, you'd have, you know, some pitchers winning 30, 32 games a year. Now They don't pitch that much. They don't win that many games. And the closers are really powerful at the end. So, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, they're always bringing in fresh arms. There's a lot of lefty-righty matchups and a lot of stats going, so it becomes very difficult to do. But, yeah, you mentioned the Denny McClain era. Denny McClain, 1968, Detroit Tigers won 32 games. Steve Carlton won 29 games with Philadelphia in like 71 or 2. I'd have to check it out. But
and do you remember the Orioles? They once had a rotation that had four 20-game winners on it.
Yes, the first and only time that's ever happened. I'm going to name them: Dave McNally, Mike Cuellar, Jim Palmer. Everybody gets those, but the one they always forget, the other 20-game winner, Tom Phoebus.
I would never remember that.
And Phoebus, get this, they had 4 20-game winners. This was in 1970. They beat the Cincinnati Reds in 5 games. And Tom Phoebus, who was a 20-game winner, never had a single World Series appearance. That's how deep they were. So there you have it. How we get into this stuff, I have no idea. You were telling me the other day that you had another jury story, which is perfect for today because today is O.J. Simpson parole day. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So,
and he should make parole.
He should make parole.
But absolutely. No question about it. Come on. Don't remember when you punish somebody, and O.J. was punished for taking back his memorabilia in an improper, unlawful way. But let's be clear. He was sentenced by the judge and punished for what occurred in California with Nicole Simpson. That lengthy penitentiary sentence. Had it been, Tom Brady that went into the hotel, I think this was in Nevada, and taken back his own memorabilia, come on. Would he have even been charged? The answer is no. So, anyway, he has paid the penalty for that crime, he should be released. There,
All
I
right.
said it.
Well, we're going to find out today, and some people are, it's being carried live on every network, including ESPN. So,
Oh, goodness.
It'll be interesting. I think we're all predicting that he's going to get paroled and he could be out as early. The earliest he can be out is October 1. Joe, we were talking the other day offline, and you said, I've got this other story I want to tell. So
you and I frequently when we talk, we'll talk about cases, and I started to share this with you. And let me just give you the facts, and I will do as I always do with your listening audience, give them the facts, not my slant, okay?
Okay.
And I'm really, I hope your viewers call in and they share with what they think, their own opinion. But here's what occurred. It is 9 o'clock in the evening, and a African-American single mother, age, I want to say 35, sends her 15-year-old daughter and her girlfriend, they go off to a party, teenage party. Fine. Mom drives them to the party with understanding that other girl's mother will pick them up at around 11:30. All right. 11:30 comes. Her daughter's not home. 11:45, not home. Mom calls daughter, no answer. Mom waits to 12:30 and now is really nervous and drives to party herself. No one's at the party. Her daughter and daughter's friend aren't there. She's starting to panic. She comes home. She calls her sister. It's now 1:30 in the morning. Calls her sister and says, come on over here. We've got to do something. We've got to look for my daughter. Sister comes over. They wait in the parking lot of their apartment complex for daughter to arrive. Tried calling the police, but police aren't interested in a child that's only 2 hours late for curfew.
Right.
That's not indicative of foul behavior or a runaway. So now it's 2:30 in the morning. Panic has set in. Then car pulls up and door opens and mother's 15-year-old daughter stumbles out of car. Mom runs over to car. Wait. Wanting to find out who did it. Who's there? What car are you getting out? She sees two young men in the car. She runs over there, and as she's running over, her daughter is stumbling out of car. The passenger male in the car says, get away, go. Mother runs up to the car as car is pulling away, and what does she see on the back floor? Now, her daughter is out, but on the back, behind their second rear seat, is the other girl lying flat on her stomach, motionless. Mother has no idea, but is suspecting the worst. Now, what does mother do? Her daughter now is safe. She doesn't just grab her daughter and say, okay, and she's worried about the other girl, the other 15-year-old. She gets her in her car and chases after the two men.
Wow. One
is 18, one is 17, with her cell phone in her hand, and she says to her daughter, go over to Aunt Sue, and she jumps in her car and chases the car. Pulls alongside of them on the highway, gets out, runs up to the car, and demands to get the name of the driver of the car. He won't tell her, and in fact, he backs up on the highway, drives the wrong way, goes through an Exxon service station, and out the other side entrance, fleeing. She follows. Again.
She's tough.
Goes after him. Pulls over, blocks him in, runs up to the car, and she's thinking. She says, I'll go up to him. He still doesn't give her name. She has no idea who he is, never seen him before. She grabs his phone out of his hand. Now she's got some ID. She goes home to where her daughter is and quickly determines that the two young men were with her daughter and the other girl voluntarily. Also, she says, what happened to the other girl? I thought she was lying flat. Was she hurt? No, she was hiding, apparently, trying to remain motionless. But of course, Mom did not know that.
Right.
Next day, mother brings cell phone up to Verizon store so that the boy can pick it up.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The two boys, I don't know what their connection is with law enforcement, but their parents called the police. My client is charged with brandishing a firearm. My client says, I never had a firearm. I had my phone in my hand. I've never held a gun in my life. We go to court. Shannon Taylor's office, the Henrico County prosecutor, is prosecuting the case. And I said, wait a second. Here's what we'll accept. We'll accept a medal from my client and an apology that she was ever charged. She never held a gun. She will not plead to a misdemeanor brandishing and accept a suspended sentence. The prosecutor handling it says, well, then we'll indict her for robbery. I said, what? If you don't accept this plea, we'll charge you with robbery. And I said, go ahead. And we'll file a complaint for malicious prosecution or vindictive prosecution, which we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those are the facts, not my spin, not my version. Those are the facts. And I'm thinking to myself, and every time I tell a story, I get upset. What mother who wouldn't do what this mother did? Or wouldn't we want her to do that? Her daughter is safe, but she goes after the car because she's worried about the other girl who is lying prone. She's never seen these boys. It's 2:30 in the morning. A crime has been committed because the girls are out after curfew. One of the males is an adult and chases after them. John, she's a hero to me, and nothing short of a hero. That's the case, and I can't believe Shannon Taylor is prosecuting it, and we're going to take a jury trial on it.
I can tell you right now that my wife, Ann, who you know very well, she'd have done the same thing.
Well,
I mean, she had done the same thing. I mean, and if she didn't do it, I'd be shocked. I mean, Mama Bear instinct sets in. First of all, you're upset because your underage daughter is 3 hours late. Then they're in a strange car with men you don't know. And then her friend is on the bottom of the car, motionless. Sure, you're going to chase after them. I mean, that's mother instinct set in.
Can you imagine, John, if the child was laying in the back seat and was dead, strangled, raped,
sure,
etc., and she didn't go after him?
Yeah.
Imagine the outrage. Wait a second. You got your daughter out of the car, but you didn't chase after them?
You just let it go. You didn't care. Right? You just didn't care. Or maybe she was bleeding to death, or maybe she was, maybe she was unconscious.
Exactly.
And, you know how people die when they vomit, they choke on their own vomit. Who knows? Right? So she goes after them. I mean, that's a hero. This is the second story about Shannon Taylor. Why are they prosecuting these cases? I mean, what is the deal here?
In my opinion, she wants to show, she does two things. She speaks to the African-American community about how open she is and how open-minded she is about cases. And then another part of the community, the West End, how tough I am. So this just shows how tough she is. To me, strength is shown by using discretion and your smarts, not going after somebody like this. And the funny thing is, we've talked to so many people about this woman, and they said, Joe, her having a gun is ridiculous. She's never held a gun in her life. She just wouldn't even know how. She's holding the cell phone, her own, trying to fumble a dialing.
So how can they say
chasing after the car?
How can they say she had a gun? She was holding a gun if she doesn't own a gun and there is no gun. Well, they just make it up.
I can see the two boys being in trouble. Remember, one of them is an adult,
right? And
it's a crime,
right?
Contrib to delinquency of a minor by having somebody a minor at past 15.
Right.
Plus, here's what he says: when she's running up to the car, go, 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 go. When she's stopped on Broad Street, backs up and goes through a service station. Who wouldn't think that they were up to no good?
Right.
That's just, but anyway, it happens again and again with Shannon Taylor's office. I think she'll have a comeuppance with re-election. But anyway, we're going to take it to a jury. I hope you sit in on the case, John, and listen to it.
I will. I want to do that. And because the way you're explaining this, Joe, it's politics over justice.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And this is another jury trial. And I can't even believe they're taking it to jury. And the plea bargain they offered was ridiculous. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, why would you take a suspended sentence, get that on your record? She didn't do anything.
Not only did she not do anything untoward or wrong, she did everything you would want her to do. Here's the funny thing, John. I said to her about the Commonwealth thinks she had a gun. She said, after laughing, said, I've never held a gun in my life. But if she did, if it was my wife and she was going to the rescue of another person, hell, I would be surprised if she didn't shoot out the tires. I think she's an absolute certifiable hero for what she did. And the last jury that I told you about that we had similar situation, not the similar facts, but another case. The jury was the jury was out for less than 20 minutes in Henrico and found my client not guilty. So I'm just, that's the only way you know how to deal with these people. You just put them in their place,
You got to have a jury, and you're going to win again. Joe, great story again. A real epidemic in this, just not with Shannon Taylor, but all over the country with overzealous prosecutors. I mean, you think they got other things to do, but concerned about some mom worried about a minor that she saw face down, you would want everybody to do that. I mean, the problem in America is not your client. It's the apathy, and people just look the other way. But I'm going to go back to this. I know your wife, and if it was happening to her, she'd have done the same thing, and I can tell you mine would. There's no question Ann would have gotten her car and chased those people down. I know her, but no question. And so we'd be in the same situation.
You're doing the right thing. You're standing up. You're stepping up to the plate. And what I really am interested in is your listening audience. How many of them think that this woman, either was heroic or did the right thing, or they would want their own spouse to do that, you know?
I got one text here from Ken in Chesapeake. It says, please ask Joe if the girls were at age of consent.
Both girls were 15.
So no, they were not of age consent.
No.
All right, Joe, we're out of time. I want to thank you very much. More information, attorneyjoemorrissey.com. Go to attorneyjoemorrissey.com. And as you know, sometimes, like, here's an example, bad things happen to good people. There's a good woman, and she's getting prosecuted. It's unbelievable, some of the stories you tell. This is going to end up being a TV show.